Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Trauma Recovery University. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Athena Moberg, your host, and this is my amazing co-host, Bobby Parrish, and we are going to talk to you tonight about no-cost to low-cost mental health care and trauma recovery resources. We're going to have an open discussion for those times that you run across, and many of us run across, when we may have some things that are going on in our lives that are linked to our child abuse so many years ago, and sometimes our insurance or the resources that have been afforded to us just are not quite enough. And so we need to reach out and find no-cost or low-cost alternatives. So this was a topic that was actually brought up by many of you survivors, and I just want to give a very, very, very special welcome and shout out to any of the people that are in Victoria, Canada with Stacy in her in real life support group. And we thank you so much for joining us. And we also want to welcome our viewers and listeners that are in the UK live. It is 2 in the morning, and you guys are always so amazing. If you are tuning in on iTunes or Spreaker or SoundCloud or Stitcher or iHeartRadio or any other podcast listening platform, we do want to remind you that this is a video broadcast, and you can find us on youtube.com/Trauma Recovery University TV, or you can find us on Twitter at Trauma Recovery U. You can find us on Roku TV, on our Roku TV channel, Trauma Recovery University. And we will be listing our resources a little bit later on how you can reach us personally by leaving us a voicemail, tweeting us, emailing us, finding us on our websites, etc. But without further ado, I would love to just dive into some content today. And we, as always, have our valuable one-page resource that we want to give you complimentary access to, just as a thank you for being one of our loyal viewers or listeners or subscribers or just an awesome survivor. So the way you can get access to this valuable resource, which is a one-page downloadable PDF, and free access to our entire library of downloadable one-page resources, you're just going to go over to traumarecoveryuniversity.com and click on the tab that says Downloadables. Fill that out and you'll be given immediate access. You can also go to nomoreshameproject.com and you can click on the tab that says Downloadables. We are so grateful that you have chosen to spend this hour of your week with us. And as always, if you want to interact with us live, we will be looking at your tweets using the hashtag #NoMoreShame. So thanks so much for bearing with me through all of our housekeeping items and announcements. Bobby is going to inform us a little bit more about our live events coming up this year in 2015, as well as our annual anthology, which is complimentary to you. We just want to provide a platform to you. And Bobby's going to fill us in with all those details before we dive into our content of low cost to no cost resources. Take it away, Bobby.
Hi, everybody. This is our anthology from November 2014, Discovering True, edited by Athena and myself and the incredible best-selling author Rachel Thompson, who's written 2 books now about her experience as a child abuse survivor. And we are so excited to be opening up submissions again this year for the anthology that will be published this November. And the reason that we publish in November is because we wanted to coincide with our amazing No More Shame November campaign. And so we published the anthology right smack dab in the middle of the month. And anyone, any survivor of childhood sexual abuse is welcome to submit. We'd love to see your essays and your poetry. This is all nonfiction. We're not looking for fiction. We want everything that is submitted to us to be true. And you can go to the website, traumarecoveryuniversity.com or nomoreshameproject.com and click on the tab that says Book. And that will give you all the instructions for submissions, how to submit it, what any restrictions would be, how long you would be giving us copyright for, everything like that. There is no fee for submitting, no fee if you're selected. Our publisher this fall is going to be Booktrope. Last year we self-published. Hello?
Oh, I am so sorry. It was completely frozen and there was no one on the screen and it was black and just dead noise. And so I was trying to fill in the empty space. I just didn't see you. I'm so sorry, Bobby. We must be having a very, we're having a terrible
some technical difficulties this evening.
We certainly are.
Please excuse us. Athena is in California, and I'm not sure that our broadcast likes her being in California. Wants her to be in Maui, where she has the beautiful ocean background behind her.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
It would be awesome. Let's just teleport you back home. So please go check it out. You'll see all the information on how to submit, when to submit. We are now accepting submissions, but that will close the 1st of June. So please submit now, and it will give you the email, how to submit, all the different things that you need to do on nomooreshameproject.com and the tab book. And again, our publisher for this fall is going to be Booktrope out of Seattle, Washington. Sorry, I'm watching Athena have technical problems there. Also, we want to remind you that our live event this year is going to be in Atlanta, and that's going to be the 5th, 6th, and 7th of June. So watch for information about that. And we were not able to get enough support to hold a live event in Portland, so instead we're going to hold a virtual event, and it will be on the last weekend in June, 26th, 27th, and 28th, and we'll be getting you more information about that. And we're so excited. We wish we could do a live event, but doing a virtual conference will allow us to be able to reach out to and service even more people than we could have had we had an in-person. But we're not giving up on you, Portland. We will try again for 2016. It's challenging to do a live event for survivors. So many of us have been beaten down, and we have had so many struggles that often finances are not something that we have a lot of, and so we really can only charge a nominal amount for the conferences, which means we do need donors and we do need sponsors to make them a reality. So we're looking on that. We're tapping every place that we can think of to get those resources for next year. So stay tuned, and stay tuned for more information about the virtual conference on the last weekend of June. So,
hey, Bobby, could I tell some of our people about some of the exciting things that are going to be happening at the event in Atlanta?
Absolutely, please, yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that in addition to the original speakers that we had told you about, I know that we have talked with Fina Bianco, and we have some entrepreneurs that are going to be speaking as well from the Shark Tank television program. I have recently, when I was in Dallas, I had the opportunity to meet with Mark Cuban's brother, Brian Cuban, who is a best-selling author, and speaking resources, and he's also a member of NAMI, and he's 7th, and we're going to be giving you a website link and more information on how you can purchase your tickets, that if you would like to see Bobby and myself and several other speakers and our keynote, Brian Cuban, then we'll give you the website address and you can go ahead and purchase some tickets or send us an email if you're interested. And we're just so excited. That's just about a month away, so we're going to be able to see you guys live.
Yes, and I believe Brian's book is called Shattered Image. It talks about his struggles with body dysmorphia and alcohol and drug addiction. Wonderful book, absolutely wonderful. If you plan on coming, it would be a great thing to pick up and read through it before you come. And we're also hoping to have his books for sale there, yes? Yeah, Athena? Oh, I believe our technical difficulties are continuing to plague us. So let's go ahead and jump into the one page. And again, tonight we're talking about low cost and no cost resources for your recovery journey.
I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able
Are you there?
to. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to be a part of this broadcast. I can't hear anything you're saying at all, and I don't even know if you can hear me right now.
I can hear
But
you. I can hear you.
Okay, I heard you just then, but the moment you started to talk about Brian Cuban and what his book was about, everything just went black. So I'm not sure how long I'll be on the broadcast with you guys, but either way, I love you and I'm so happy you're tuning in. And we can just dive into content, Bobby. I hope you
Yes.
got, I don't even know what you said about Brian Cuban, but his book's called Shattered Image, and it's best-selling, and it is about his journey through bulimia and his recovery journey through addiction and the life that he's living now by going out and helping others. And it's just incredibly inspirational. I read it cover to cover in one day, and I highly recommend the book. It's called Shattered Image, and it is absolutely amazing. If you guys have not read it.
We have to remind him to bring some to the conference to sell.
Oh, absolutely. I think he keeps them with him at all times. He had some with him when I was having coffee.
Many of them. I'm sure people will want to take advantage of maybe him signing a copy for them while he's there at the conference. That would be awesome.
I got an autographed copy. It was so awesome. And I got a picture with him and my autographed book. Can I just show you guys? I know that this is not on what we were going to do today for our show, but I want to show you the picture that I got of Brian Cuban and myself after he signed my copy of his book. It was so exciting. Here it is. So cool. Look, guys.
There you go. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm talking now. They can't see.
It was so exciting.
He is a great guy. Very down to earth. Not a thing about him that is pretentious.
No, he's just amazing.
Hear him speak. He is. And I think anybody who treats you amazing is amazing. So I'm so thrilled you got a chance to have coffee with him. So
it was wonderful.
Okay, let's talk content. And again, like Athena talked about earlier in the show, and I know I've hauled the statistic out before, but I'm going to do it again. There are 3 million reports every year of childhood sexual abuse. 3 million reports. Now, that's not taking into account those that are not reported. And there is no way that our mental health system has enough resources to help every single one of those people. Whether they don't seek help until they're an adult or whether they seek help, hopefully someone who loves them will help them get help when they're a child after it happens. But we don't have the resources. And furthermore, many of us don't have the insurance. We don't make enough money to be able to private pay. This morning we talked a little bit. This morning we had our chat for mostly our UK community, but there are people there from the US as well, people who perhaps work at night and they're free during the day. And I fully admit, I am not 100% versed in the National Health Services system, but a lot of them who were talking this morning were saying that resources were also very scarce for them, despite having universal health care coverage, and that they were offered only short-term counseling, meaning they said 6 to 12 weeks, rather than the long-term counseling, which most of us need. So even when there's universal insurance or a national health service, we're not guaranteed to get the help that we need. And furthermore, sometimes we need multiple kinds of care at the same time. When I was in the thick of my worst part of recovery, when I was trying to stay out of the hospital, had already been there several times, didn't want to go again, I saw my therapist twice a week. And that is truly the only way that I could have done it. I was in the hospital and we made a plan for me leaving the psychiatric ward. That's what they advised at the psychiatric hospital. That's what my therapist and I set up. And she did a lot of work for me at a discounted rate because I didn't have insurance. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten it. And I fully believe that when a lot of survivors are having the worst time, they need more than 1 hour of therapy once a week, or heaven forbid, 1 hour of therapy every other week, or nothing. So we really want to emphasize resources that are available to you that are low cost or no cost that you can take advantage of to either fill in the gaps between the care that is available to you, or heaven forbid, if you don't have any resources to get anything that is of a costly basis, hopefully these can provide a bit of a safety net or help to you while you're struggling to get back on your feet and be able then to get more finances so that you can pay for greater services. So we get it. Both of us have been there. I still don't have health insurance. I don't get therapy. I'm
Hey, Bobby,
blessed.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm so
I can hear
sorry.
you. I can hear you. Oh, and I lost her. I'm sorry. I'm lucky enough right now to have a psychiatrist who will do a low fee for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be getting any care. So we've both been there. We get it. We understand. And we want to provide these services to you so you know about them and you can access them as much as you can. And of course, don't overlook what we have on our website. Trauma Recovery University has not only all of these videos, and we must have 40 hours of content by now on a wide range of subjects. So that's all available to you. And if you go to traumarecoveryuniversity.com, I see you back, and click on the downloadables tab, you'll see all of our one pages. And again, I think we must have at least 40 there minimum, and all on a variety of topics that are all resources available to you. We have our Twitter chats, which are very powerful, available to you as well, and private Facebook groups, private secret Facebook groups that you can join for 24/7 support. So don't forget all those services that are available to you just through us, just through Trauma Recovery University. But we want to talk about the rest that is available to you. And I see you there, Miss Athena. You made it back.
Yeah, I don't know if this is even going to work. I don't know the bandwidth or what the deal is, but I can't hear anything you guys are saying, and I don't even know if you guys can hear me.
Oh.
I apologize for...
Not your fault, sweetie. Not your fault. Let's jump into the one page, and that way at least you won't have to worry about whether or not we see you.
Yeah, I can't hear anything or see anything, you guys. It's just black. So I'm going to sit here for a little while. I'm so sorry for the distracting broadcast.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Let's talk about low-cost and no-cost trauma recovery services. Here are a list of places where you can normally find two kinds of things. One, you'll find educational resources. Two, you'll find support groups, forums, things like that can be a source. And three, you may very well find places that have in-person talk therapy that will be of a benefit to you, that will provide that service at a low or no cost. And the first place that we want to reference you to are women's resource centers. This morning we had many people from the UK mention this as well. So there you can see my UK spelling, centers. And often they will provide support groups and counseling either on a sliding scale or for free. So look into those, and I realize that discounts all of our male survivors out there. But there, to the best of my knowledge, are no men's resource centers. We need them. And the second reference for you are rape crisis centers. Now, I realize that if you were abused as a child, some of this may not directly apply, but so many of us get re-victimized as adults through date rape or rape that many of the services they provide will be applicable to us. And some rape crisis centers even have support groups for survivors of childhood sexual abuse. So contact them, get on Google, look for the ones in your area, see what they have available. Domestic violence shelters. I did some work, some social work at a domestic violence shelter in Portland, and they do indeed have support groups. I understand that not all of us are victims of domestic violence, but again, many of us get re-victimized as adults, and also many of us grew up in homes where there was domestic violence. So check them out, see what they have available. And then here are our 12-step groups. Al-Anon. Again, many of us are children of alcoholics, or perhaps we married an alcoholic. It may not be directly applicable to your sexual abuse, but I promise that the information they provide will be supportive and helpful to you. So Al-Anon, Codependence Anonymous, again, many of us, because what we went through as children, have developed a codependency. This will help. And then adult children of alcoholics. Again, because we suffered through the dysfunctional nature of our childhood, this will be helpful for many of us. Look to see if some of your local churches have counseling staff or clinics. That is often the case. They will either have one staff member that does counseling, or some churches actually have a whole clinic that provides low-cost or no-cost counseling. The Lamplighters support groups, awesome resources. They have a website. Lamplighters has a website. Go and look and see where they're located if there's one near you. Universities and colleges. Here's another good resource. And the only reason I know this one is because I did this. Look for universities and colleges near you that offer degrees in counseling, therapy, social work. Oftentimes, those schools will have a clinic at their school because everyone who graduates with one of their degrees has to have in-person, face-to-face client interactions. And so often they will have a clinic where their graduate students they're in their second year, so they've already had a full year of education. They will provide counseling for low or no cost, and they will be directly supervised by one of their professors or the director of the clinic. This is an amazing resource. I know here in Dallas, in the Dallas area, we must have at least 5 different clinics like this. There are some downsides. For example, you might be able to have the same therapist only for 1 semester, and then it will switch to someone else. But it can be an excellent, excellent resource, and again, for a very nominal fee. Self-help books and workbooks. I realized that this is something you would do on your own and would not involve being in community with other survivors. But there are some excellent books and workbooks out there that you can work through at your own pace that would be helpful. Shelter from the Storm is a great one. The Courage to Heal, they have both a resource book and a workbook. There are a lot of them out there. Just go to Amazon. Do a search for child sexual abuse recovery, and there will be a lot that will pop up. Then there are some good websites that have support groups, chat rooms, discussion forums. One of the best ones, personally in my experience, is pandies.org. And it's named that because I believe the founder's name was Pandora. It has a link to the name Pandora. Another good resource is RAIN.org, and that is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. They're who we always refer people to who are in crisis, because they have not only a crisis number, but they have an online chat feature that you can access in a crisis. isurvive.org has an excellent, excellent, excellent discussion forum where you can get answers to your questions and be in community with other survivors. Darkness to Light is at d2l.org. Again, chat features, all kinds of help and information and education. And then there is the organization, which is Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, and they're international. In fact, my favorite website for them is the Australian version. And they are at ascasupport.org. And then again, all of the resources that we have to offer. I know, and we talk about this all the time here on our broadcast, that being involved in community with other survivors, in a healthy community with other survivors. We have had people come back to us and say, you know, I tried, it didn't work, people were this, people were that, it wasn't good. I understand sometimes it's not a good mix. Sometimes the leaders, the facilitators are not strong enough to be able to nip things in the bud that need to be nipped in the bud. But there are still some excellent communities out there that are available to you. And when you are in community with other survivors, not only do you experience a decrease in your own shame, but you learn you are not alone. And that is so important. But another thing that we need to do besides being in community is we need education. Education about recovery is, let me pop back over here and talk to y'all. There I am. Athena, I see you.
Hi. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, you guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My internet is not very strong, and I'm so sorry. I wanted to be a part of this tonight, to be able to talk with you guys, but
and here you are, just
yeah.
intermittently. Education is so important because it empowers us. And Athena, you and I have talked about that so many times, that it's important to shift yourself out of that victim mentality into a survivor mentality. And when you empower yourself, when you feel that sense of power, is an important part of making that shift. Because when you are a victim, the feeling is powerlessness. But when you're a survivor, the feeling is powerful. That's kind of along the lines of what you've experienced too, has it not, Athena?
Yes, I think I heard you. And if I'm hearing you correctly, definitely being in community with other survivors and reaching out to these resources that we've shared with you, it is very empowering, and it helps you to not feel so stuck and not feel alone. The moment you start feeling alone and stuck in your situation, like you're the only one that's experienced it, it's extremely overwhelming, and it's going to be very debilitating. I got the opportunity to be with Bobby there in Texas for a week. It was amazing, and we got to sit there and just talk for hours and hours and hours. And we did talk about this topic of I definitely subscribe to the whole, you know, when it's time to recover, it's time to recover. You really just need to own your recovery and dive right in and be fully vested in yourself, because you deserve it. And then the more you do that, and you give yourself permission almost to own that recovery that is yours, we only have so much emotional energy. And again, this is just my take on the whole thing. I hope I'm not incredibly off topic, because I could not hear a little bit ago. So, but when we only have so much emotional energy in a day, and if we spend all of that emotional energy just trying to scurry about and figure out how to survive, we end up exhausted. But if we're in community with other people that are able to sort of mentor us or even show us their best practices, and we can adopt those best practices and own them for ourselves and sort of try them on for size, it really circumvents the process almost, so that we can, that's the only shortcut I know of that's involved with recovery, is when you get in community with other survivors. Otherwise, there are no shortcuts in recovery from trauma and abuse that I know of. The only shortcut I know of, and it's not even a shortcut, but it's just something that makes it better, and that's being in community with others and reaching out to these resources that we have listed on our one-page resource today, so that you can be empowered to receive the amount of care and the level of care that you deserve, regardless of whether or not you can afford it or not. So I hope that that was on topic, Bobby, and
It
I
absolutely
apologize.
was. Yes.
I've been sort of off off like I wasn't even able to be on the broadcast for a little while, so I missed a whole chunk of it, and I'm sorry to be a distraction.
No, you're good. You're good. And I think an important point that you made was that it is our recovery journey. And we've told you guys over and over again that you need to exercise your power and be in control of your own recovery. We don't at all subscribe to a mentality of, oh, just go see the psychiatrist and take whatever drugs he tells you and do whatever he tells you to, and gosh, you'll be fine. Or, go see that therapist that your insurance company told you to see, and it doesn't matter whether or not you get along with them, just do what they say and everything will be fine. No. You were powerless as a child. You are not powerless now as an adult. We encourage you to take control over your own recovery, but that is a double-edged sword. So not only do you get the blessing of being powerful and in control, but now you have to do the work. So it's not just a matter of following someone else's lead. You have to wade in there, go through the hard stuff, do the hard things. And like Athena said, the incredible blessing of being in community with others, I think, and I agree 100% with Athena, I think what it does is it accelerates our recovery because we're watching the people around us and seeing what they do. And when we do that, we pick up ideas, tools, hints, strategies that we could not find on our own. When we're in isolation, when we allow that shame to force us into isolation, it disconnects us from powerful, powerful resources that we would get if we were in community. And even if you can't find another community that's local to you of just sexual abuse survivors, okay, so maybe you have to go to an Al-Anon group. I promise you, there will be people there who are child sexual abuse survivors. You can still get great value from going, but you have to just not go. You got to do the work. And when you do the work in community with others, I promise you that your recovery will be accelerated. Will it be easy? Nope. Will it be simple? Probably not, because trauma recovery is complicated as all get out, but it will be faster because you will have the benefit of all the wisdom of the people around you. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into one of our Twitter chats and think that, I had all the information I needed to master that particular area. And then 5, 10, 15 people will chime in with, well, I do this, I do this, I do this. Wow, okay, I was wrong. And I learned things that benefit me in my own recovery. And so I don't think that I would ever, unless, internet craters and falls away off the face of the earth, stop going to those Twitter chats because they provide me, they nourish me. I'm not just there leading, I'm there getting information as a survivor myself. And I tell people over and over again, those Twitter chats are magical because they provide us an opportunity to be in community. So even if that's the only resource that you decide today, after watching this episode, while watching this episode, that you're going to take advantage of, please do. Our Twitter chats are Monday, and I don't have the graphic to put up, but they're Monday at 6 p.m. UK time and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the US. And the hashtag is CSAQT, which stands for Child Sexual Abuse Question Time. And our second Twitter chat, which is the original, started in January of 2014 by Rachel Thompson and myself, the same Rachel Thompson from this book, best-selling author and an enormous advocate of child sexual abuse survivors. That is at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, and that chat hashtag is Sex Abuse Chat. the chats are normally very active, and people just, jumping in, giving their 2 cents. If it feels overwhelming to you, by all means, just watch. Go to Twitter, put CSAQT, hashtag CSAQT in the search box, and then just watch and see how people are interacting, how they're encouraging each other, supporting each other. And when you're ready, you can participate as well. If you miss some of the chats, if you want to see what it's all about without actually being on Twitter, go to Storify, STORIFY.com. Go to my profile, Truth is Hers, that's my Twitter handle, and you will find chat transcripts going back a whole year or more so of each Twitter chat that we've done. And since we started doing the UK Twitter chats, you're now going to find 2 chat transcripts for every week. And go through and read those. I'm sure that you'll be able to garner some information. At the very least, you'll be able to get a feeling for what the Twitter chats are like. So check those out. Again, we do this Google Hangout, and we have all of our broadcasts stored on YouTube. Just search for Trauma Recovery University. We also have all of our episodes uploaded to Roku TV. And so they're there, they're available for you. We have been so blessed to hear from people telling us that they have found that to be helpful. Several different people tell us they start their day off with that while they're going through their morning routine. They put on an episode on Roku TV, and it helps them get through their day. So however that helps you, however that serves you, if you want to get in contact with us, I'm BobbyLParish@gmail.com, and Athena is Athena@AthenaMoberg.com. Can you hear me, Athena?
I can hear you.
Awesome. We also have our website, TraumaRecoveryUniversity.com, NoMoreShameProject.com. We're on Twitter. Reach out to us there. I'm Truth is Hers. Athena is Athena Moberg. She is a wizard of branding, and she has her name everywhere. And a few places I have odd tags, so she's easy. You can find her everywhere just by Googling her name or searching for her name.
Bobby, I find that every single time that I tell somebody to Google us, it's the easiest way. So you should just Google Bobby Parish, and you can Google
Yes.
Athena Moberg, and you can find us in every place, whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or email. Oh, and I want to give a special shout out to Chantel Gordon. She found me on my About Me page.
Oh, so cool. I don't even have one of those.
You can claim your own at about.me, and then your About Me page would be about.me/Bobby Parish.
Oh, cool.
And that is where Chantel found me. And we have so many awesome, wonderful people that have found us just via social media and out there on the internet. And whether they're Googling us or they're finding us live and then looking us up or whatever. But we just want to welcome you guys. We have a voicemail feature on my Athena.
Oh, I think we lost her again. She does indeed have a voice
there and
on her website, AthenaMoberg.com. Did I lose you? Oh, you're back. You're gone. I'm so sorry, you guys. This happens sometimes. We could sit down and re-tape the whole show, but you know what? We're not gonna. We're just gonna get this out there. We're gonna upload it to Roku TV.
Technical difficulties this week, you guys.
See, she's apologizing too. This is life. This is the reality of life. We don't do retakes. We don't edit our shows. You get to see every bit of what it's like, and hopefully, by watching some of the things that we do, you'll learn a few extra things. So connect with us, reach out, please. Sometimes it takes us a couple of days to get back to you because it's just the two of us responding to all the emails and the tweets and things. But we do want to hear from you. We do want to help and support you. It just sometimes might take us a little bit of time to get back to you.
Yeah.
But access all the help that we have on our websites, on our Facebook pages, on our Twitter feed, a lot of stuff out there. and let us know what you want us to talk about in any shows coming forward. So,
yeah. Can you hear me okay, Bobby?
I can hear you great now.
We apologize for the technical difficulties this week, you guys. I'm going to be back home in Hawaii next week, and everything will be running extremely smoothly. It'll be wonderful. But if you missed any part of this broadcast, you can always find a replay of it at YouTube. You can search for us by looking for Trauma Recovery University, and you can also find us on Roku TV and Roku TV devices by searching for Trauma Recovery University. And we'll be posting some links on social media as well for you to look for the replays of these broadcasts. And again, like Bobby was saying, if you have topics that you would like for us to discuss, we look forward to receiving emails or voicemails or tweets or Facebook messages or anything that you want to send us, letting us know the topics that you would like us to discuss. Bobby, do we have our editorial calendar handy, or do we know what we're discussing next week? I can't remember.
We do not have something booked for next week. So
okay, well,
we are an
will
open
let
book.
you guys know. We will let you guys know what it is that we're going to be discussing. Bobby, I couldn't hear you for a little while. Did we already give everybody all of our information?
Yes, ma'am, we did. And we told them when to connect with us. And I lost her again. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your patience and your kindness this week as we deal with our technical difficulties. Again, Athena will be home. There you are. Athena will be home next week, and everything will go smoothly and beautifully because we will get to look out her lovely picture window of the oceans and the beaches. So thank you, everyone, for being here. And I will say thank you on behalf of my wonderful co-host, Athena Moberg. To give us those submissions for the anthology and connect with us for June in Atlanta, and come back next week. And we'll be here again without any technical difficulties.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.